steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. And he was on, what? He could have been not clean in a lot of fights.
For all my hard work and for leaving them, you big useless dosser. You've let a little steroid man come up from middleweight and set about you and take all your belts. But he's going to have to take a real British Lancaster.
Take his licence away, because you have to send the right message out to the rest of the people that are out there that think they can actually get away with doing whatever it is he's done.
Johnny Nelson explodes with a bombshell the moment the cameras roll. He's not holding back. The Usyk victory might look clean, but Nelson hints something far more sinister is brewing beneath the surface. The steroid talk isn't casual, it's accusatory, raw, and fierce. This isn't just post-fight noise, it's a storm incoming for Team Usyk.
Unfortunately, there is going to be, there needs to be an inquiry straight after this, why, what. But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you. I'm quite sure when this goes out, it'll be all over the place.
Johnny Nelson isn't just speculating anymore. He's pointing the finger. He suggests something was actually found in Usyk's system, a claim that adds fuel to an already raging fire. This isn't playful banter. This is war talk. If performance-enhancing drugs were involved, everything changes. Nelson wants answers, and he wants them now. The credibility of a champion is suddenly hanging by a thread.
But what I'm saying is what they found in his system, now this is one thing they've got to find out, this one thing we've got to prove. He's saying, this is all I've done, that's what I've done. You know, and if that's adverse, if that's a performance-enhancing drug, then I'm guilty.
Duke McKenzie doesn't tiptoe, he goes for the jugular. If Usyk's guilty, McKenzie says he shouldn't just be banned, he should be erased. In a brutal sport where one wrong move can cost a life, cheating is the ultimate sin, and if a rematch happens under this shadow, the controversy might drown the sport itself.
From it, so success, her winning, is a bigger deal than people actually realise. McCaskill come five.
I want to touch on something that
Simon Jordan isn't whispering conspiracy, he's laying out a legal roadmap. Failed drug tests and procedural punishments? That's no rumor mill, that's litigation territory. If the accusations hold up, Usyk's wins could face retroactive damage. A rematch wouldn't be a rematch, it'd be redemption for Dubois and a chance for justice to punch back inside the ring.
Everybody asked him to go through, not just a UCAD procedure, but a national anti-doping procedure. And you get fully cleared. And, you know, the argument that frustrates me the most is, yeah, bet he's serving asylum.
But just when it feels like the walls are closing in, Eddie Hearn steps forward with resistance. Eddie Hearn plays the voice of reason, cold, calculated, and unmoved by the noise. He throws the burden back at the accusers, show the proof, or let it go. But even if Usyk walks clean, the cloud remains. And with so much smoke, fans now wonder, will a rematch come with truth or more chaos?
I'm saying the general consensus, if you read the responses to everything is, has there been a UCAD ban? There has never been a UCAD ban, there has never been a fine, there has never been a suspension.
Eddie Hearn fires back with defiance. He's heard the noise, seen the outrage, but he draws the line. No failed test, no guilty verdict, case closed. But here's the catch. Public opinion isn't built on paperwork, it's built on perception. And perception right now is chaos. Hearn's defense is clinical, but even his composure can't erase what the sport just witnessed at Wembley. The burning question is, what if Dubois wasn't just outclassed, but outgunned by something beyond natural skill? If the rematch does get greenlit, it won't just be about belts and glory, it'll be about redemption and vindication. Because of this relentless storm of accusations, Usyk can't just beat Dubois again. He'll have to silence a narrative that's poisoning everything he's achieved. Meanwhile, Dubois might feel more dangerous now than ever, humiliated once, but armed with the public's sympathy and a thirst for revenge. And if that rematch happens, it's not just a second fight, it's a war for legacy.
In AJ twice, Fury twice, Dubois twice. Unbelievable.
But did you see that, you know, they had, it's a little bit out of context here. Hope he doesn't hear it, but
this is the side of Usyk fans. Love, relentless, tactical, unforgiving. Eddie Hearn breaks it down like a man who just watched a masterclass unfold. Dubois came in fast and confident, but Usyk adapted like a champion forged in chaos. What's more, he didn't just survive the early pressure, he responded by breaking Dubois down piece by piece. That's the kind of performance that silences most critics, unless performance enhancers are being whispered in the background. And here's the twist. If Usyk did this clean, then we've just witnessed one of the most surgical beatdowns in heavyweight history. But if there's even a sliver of truth behind the accusations, then this domination suddenly gets rebranded as injustice. The rematch isn't just warranted, it's demanded. Dubois has a reason to call for it, and Usyk now has something to prove beyond skills, purity. This bout was one-sided, but with so many narratives unraveling at once, their next clash might be explosive on levels far beyond boxing.
Alexander Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed in your head. Yeah?
You have to be mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Well, to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple months ago,
yeah,
I had a coffee with him, we were just chatting. The guy lives in Ukraine.
Yep.
Yeah. He goes, oh, before I came on the plane, I was sleeping in my house, and then those missiles were going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I was like, I'll just go to sleep. That's some craziness, isn't it? I mean, now imagine you're in your house in Barna, Timbuktu, and then missiles are going. What are you gonna be like?
Yeah, he's cut from very different.
Leave it to Derek Chisora to deliver a punch straight to the psychology of boxing. According to him, to even sign a contract to fight Usyk, you've got to be twisted in the head. Not reckless, but fearless, to the point of delusion. And that's the reality Dubois faced walking into Wembley. But here's where things get interesting. What happens when someone who's already been broken by Usyk wants to come back for more? Is Dubois that kind of disturbed, or is he done? Chisora's statement paints Usyk as a riddle that only lunatics try solving, and yet in defeat, Dubois might have found something inside himself more dangerous than ever, a reason to step back into the fire. That raises the question, would a rematch be a test of skills or a battle of minds? If Dubois still wants it, then maybe Chisora's right, maybe he is mad. But in boxing, that kind of madness can turn into legend.
For Usyk, I don't think there's nothing more for him to prove. He's in a situation like all good fighters when the start comes to the end of the career. You've got the next gen coming through. You've got your upperties that want to move up and fight him. You've got the young guns. I see.
And now Joe Gallagher weighs in, not just on Usyk's greatness, but what the future really holds for him. Joe Gallagher says it plain and simple, Usyk is done proving himself. He's already cleaned out legends, made monsters look average, and set a bar that seems untouchable. But here's where the danger lies. When the new generation starts knocking, they bring with them hunger, power, and something to prove. Dubois is still that next-gen wolf trying to tear the king down. Even worse, now he has a reason to scream injustice. If the steroid talk keeps gaining traction, Gallagher's claim of Usyk's greatness comes with an asterisk. That's exactly why a rematch could turn into something historic. This wouldn't be a rising star versus a champion. It'd be a man trying to reclaim his name from whispers of corruption. Usyk doesn't need more accolades, but maybe now he needs something else. Redemption from suspicion. And for Dubois, this is his only shot to flip the script and prove he never lost clean. That's what makes this feud far from over.
I got up at the count of 10, and he walked straight past Usyk, straight to the corner. He was completely fine. I think, and you know what, it's horrific to say I've quit. It's not horrific to say I'm quit. I'm chairman of the quit committee. I'm top quitter, I guess. Anyway, he quit, yeah, he did.
Dave Allen doesn't mince words. He calls it like a fan who saw betrayal. According to him, Dubois didn't just lose, he gave up. No injuries, no excuses, just a clean walk of surrender. The truth is, when a heavyweight walks past his opponent like nothing happened, it raises doubts. Not about damage, but about desire. But here's where things spiral. What if Dubois knew something wasn't right? What if the punishment didn't feel natural, didn't feel earned? Allen mocks him, but what if Dubois's quit was an unspoken protest against something darker? This is why the rematch matters. It's not just about rewriting a loss, it's about confronting the shame. Dubois has been branded a quitter, Usyk is being branded a cheater. That's exactly why they need to meet again. No shadows, no doubt, just truth in the ring. The division won't breathe easy until that happens.
I'm speechless. I usually got a lot to say. I'm speechless. The fight ended in round 4, and we got conned out.
When a man like Don Charles, never shy with opinions, is left speechless, you know something's seriously wrong. He doesn't yell or rant. He just says it cold. They got conned. Period. And that's a word that hits harder than any punch. Con. That's not just losing a fight, that's being cheated out of one. This changes the entire post-fight narrative. Was Usyk really that good, or was Dubois denied a fair chance? Some might dismiss Don Charles as emotional, but when you link his reaction with Nelson's steroid allegations and Duke's calls for punishment, it starts to feel like more than noise. The deeper issue here is integrity. If Dubois was up against something illegal or even questionable, then this loss needs rewriting. And a rematch isn't just about belts now, it's about justice. Don's silence speaks volumes. The real issue is, how do you silence fans and corners who believe the sport failed them? That's exactly why this fight must happen again, under the brightest lights, the strictest testing, and no room for doubt. Dubois was hurt, sure, but if he was also wronged, that rematch becomes a moral obligation, not just a marketing gimmick.
Dubois as well at the end of the second round. I thought Daniel did really well in the third round actually to come back and landed a few right hands, but they were sort of partially blocked. Usyk never really gets hit flush. There was that other sort of low blow type body shot, exactly like the one in Poland, which they sort of shook off. And yeah, unfortunately, Daniel was trying to catch him with the right hand, and it was the right hand that led to the end for
Adam Smith brings composure to the chaos, but even he can't mask the strange rhythm of that fight. He gives Dubois credit. Round 3 looked like a comeback was brewing. Dubois was aggressive, brave, and landing shots. But here's the twist. Smith admits those punches were partially blocked. So if Dubois wasn't landing clean, why did it look like Usyk was still reacting? And then the ending, one clean right hand and it's over. But it wasn't a collapse. It wasn't a brutal knockout. Dubois stood up, walked past Usyk. No stumble, no daze. And suddenly fans are asking, did he quit because of pain or protest? The commentary dances around it, but when paired with Johnny Nelson's explosive allegations and Don Charles' con statement, you start seeing cracks in the narrative. Dubois didn't crumble, he exited. Voluntarily. That raises the question, did he feel something was wrong in that ring? Something off? A rematch here wouldn't just test his toughness, it would test Usyk's legacy. If Dubois comes back, it's not just to win, it's to prove he wasn't crazy for walking away that night. That alone makes this rematch a ticking time bomb.
Parker? Parker's deserved his shot. I think Parker should get a world title fight regardless, even if Usyk vacates the belts.
Hands off. Usyk fought like a heavyweight, not a cruiserweight in there tonight.
Yeah, no, he did. He stood on business, man. He stood on business and he said he was going to knock Dubois out, and he done exactly that.
Hamza Shiraz isn't here for debates. He's here to salute the king. According to him, Usyk said he'd knock Dubois out, and he delivered no controversy, no confusion, and Shiraz saw it coming. In the eyes, in the walk, in the aura. That's the mark of a killer. But here's the contradiction. How can one camp say Usyk cheated and another say he was just too mentally sharp, too focused? That raises the question, did Usyk destroy Dubois through skill or supplements? Shiraz doesn't even acknowledge the allegations. In his world, the fight is already history, but that's exactly what makes this split so intense. Half the sport sees a masterclass. The other half sees foul play, and what's more, Usyk's calm and cold dominance only adds fuel to both arguments. Was it ice in his veins or chemicals in his blood? That's the split, that's the fury, that's the rematch everyone needs. Because if Usyk was clean, let him do it again. Louder, clearer, deadlier. But if Dubois believes he was crushed by an unfair advantage, then he won't sleep until he gets that ring run back. The division demands closure.